Faces dropped on a new edition of Soccer Down Here. As we get the little screen change there. It's a kind of a hectic show because we've got about an hour to get you ready for the weekend in MLS. We've got a shorter show today because our flight to Philadelphia for, working tomorrow is a little bit earlier than normal. So got to get a countdown to kickoff taped as well. Get on the road, get to the airport, get ready to go. I've already been COVID tested this morning. It's been a busy last couple of days. And it's going to continue to be busy. But I do have something to share with those of you who are on the Twitch pitch this morning, as I'm trying to fight with something else and see if it'll work, and it's trying to be difficult over here. The Mile High 17 has been busy, first off.
Cool.
The Mile High 17 has been very busy and has created 2 new shirts that are live for those of you who like to visit the Soccer Down Here store. The first one I have shared is something we've talked about quite a bit on the show, the Dribblers Union shirt. And I think it is Ragamuffin who gets credit for that specific term. I went on a rant about dribbling and how cool it is, and I think he's the one who put the Dribblers Union together. So the Mile High 17 has created an awesome, awesome shirt for that. It's available in a variety of colors. Go get yours today. Buy the shirt. Buy the shirt.
Buy the shirt.
It's
very cool.
Yeah, it came out very, very cool. And that's not all. There's more. The other one is probably – no, there's not probably. It is the most ridiculous thing that has ever been uttered on the morning show. I leave the live shows out of it because sometimes John says even more ridiculous things for those in the evenings. I think he did last night, if I remember correctly. But in the morning show one time, and I don't even remember what he was trying to compare. I really, truly don't. I don't remember what the analogy was, but John birthed a phrase, and yeah, there's a shirt for it. The fighter jets in a washing machine. There's a shirt.
Oh, it's the idea of playing a very fast-paced.
You said it.
Style. I know. What I'm saying is it was a very fast-paced style in like Yankee Stadium-sized pitches.
I guess. I don't know. My brain doesn't work that way. You came up with it, and now it's a shirt. Buy the shirt.
Buy the shirt.
It's ridiculous. Mile High 17 is awesome. Thank you for the designs. And yes, Jason Nix, we went back and forth to make sure that we had the proper apostrophe, plural possessive usage on the Dribblers Union shirt. It was double-checked and triple-checked, and we were very, very sure to make sure that happened. We try to be about quality. Domer is freaking out. Sean Vergara wants it as a hoodie. I can add hoodies, Sean. I don't know the pricing off the top of my head on hoodies, but I can add. It is not a Peter Millar. They don't have Peter Millars on Teespring. I still need to get you a Peter Millar Soccer Down Here polo. It needs to happen. I know there's hoodies, pullover hoodies that would work with this. There's zip-up hoodies that it would look really different, but I think I can make that work. So shoot me a message as to what you prefer, and I'll see what options we have, and I can add them in probably tonight once I get a little bit of time to sit down and work on it. So fighter jets in a washing machine. Yes, that was the proper analogy. Tom remembered. I think I was trying to block it out of what you were actually talking about that day. And Dribblers Union are already there. DM Tim, you might need to get another hoodie then. We could put it on the back. Yeah, that's a good shout. That again, we could do an SDH logo on the front and do the either one, the Dribblers Union. I think the Dribblers Union would look good on the hoodie on the back. That's a really good shout. Thank you. I like that.
There you go. I'll get that one.
That needs to happen. All right. So we got stuff. We got more stuff coming, but we're gonna tie it into something else that's been requested by you crazy people. a Soccer Files series on the previous Atlanta professional soccer teams. I've got some ideas on how to bring that together and approach it in a way that I don't think has ever been approached. And we're going to have some gear to go along with it. So that could be pretty cool. Some teams that existed and some teams that didn't exist, that nearly existed, and we'll have some stuff for that. So that's coming a little bit later in the year. But thank you for, one, wanting to buy stuff with soccer down here on it. That's still crazy to me. And two, thanks to the Mile High 17 for putting this together and helping us bring this to life, especially fighter jets and a washing machine.
Like racing at Bristol.
We're not putting that on a shirt.
No.
Just hold on to the one that got on the shirt, John.
Oh,
it got on a shirt. You need to drive that one home.
Oh, absolutely. And you know that I'm going to be purchasing it plus the zip-up hoodie with the Dribblers Union on the back.
You do know you can get them at cost because you work here, right?
Nothing wrong with reinvesting.
All right. Matt Wagner wants a Bruga shirt. Good grief. Y'all are out of hand. Yes, John does drive things home like a dead horse. That is true. That might be the next shirt.
There you go.
All right. There's your gear for this morning. Sure, spend it. It's all good. I tried that again. I tried. All right, we got a bunch of games to talk about, and we got about 50 minutes to do it. So let's start by running through the list of games that we have to deal with this weekend in Major League Soccer. Some of them aren't important. Some of them are. We'll get into all of that, but we're going to start with the first game of the weekend, which is a game that I will be at, and I know Rich Ransom will be at, and I don't know if anybody else in the SDH universe will be at, but it's very possible. I know Mike Conti will be there, obviously. Yeah. Philadelphia hosting Atlanta United, Subaru Park, Chester, PA, 3:30 broadcast time tomorrow. Kick is 3:50. It's back-to-back Univision games. We know how this works by now. Robert Sabiga is your referee. I'm okay with that. Drew Fisher is the VAR. Sabiga, 21.6 fouls called per game in his MLS career. That's low. I think the average generally, well, probably the better way to put it would be the median number generally is in the 23 to 23 and a half. So 21.6 low. That might favor Philadelphia. Yellow cards 3.4 per game. Pretty average. Maybe slightly below. 38 penalties in 136 games. 24 reds in 136 games. Feel about right. Feel about normal for the rest of the numbers. All-time series, 3 draws, 1 Philadelphia win, 3 Atlanta wins. Regular season play only. At Philadelphia, they've split. It's been a complete and utter split in Pennsylvania. 1 win for both, 5 goals for both, 1 draw. We'll see who gets on the top side of that after this one. Philadelphia had went 3 without a win. They beat up on Orlando.
With 26 flavors, got a sauce for every squad. Don't drip on the drip. It's the greatest of all times. Buffalo Wild Wings.
There are mysterious things in this world that bear keeping an eye on.
Is anybody else starting to feel a little freaky?
What happened to you morons this time?
Who in the sweet mercy of are you?
Good question.
Transform!
So everybody's doing it. Why not Philly? Kasper Shabilko with 2 goals. He's got 8 on the year. At his 3rd assist of the year, too. Atlanta's won 3 in a row. 7th win in the last 8. 3-2 over DC United. Ezequiel Barco, ridiculous. Joseph Martinez scored from Barco. we know what happened. Marcelino Moreno embarrassing everybody associated with DC defending on that half of the field, 1v5. Last time they played, it was a 2-2 draw. Jacob Glesnes hit an absolute bombazo late to make it a 2-2 draw. Corey Burke scored in the 83rd minute to get it to 2-1. Atlanta should have held on to the lead. They did not. And we also know they met in CONCACAF Champions League. 3-0 win for Philly in Atlanta, a 1-1 draw at Chester. So, what are the numbers on this one, John?
Philadelphia is a -102, and this is a composite courtesy of our friends at Odds Portal. Your draw is a +267. Atlanta United is a +262.
For a team that's won 7 of 8, that's a large number.
Mm-hmm.
Against a team that's won 1 of 4 and has 5 losses in their last 8. I'm a little surprised the number's that big on the win side of it. A draw is a fine result. I'm not gonna be upset if you come out of here with a point at all. I'm not gonna be worried about that. If you go and win, which is absolutely possible, this is a winnable game on the road with Philly's recent form and Atlanta's recent form. If Atlanta goes and wins it, as we've been saying, every time something happens unexpectedly between Nashville, NYC dropping points, Atlanta picking up points, things become possible. I think Nashville's win in the midweek kind of righted the ship for them. NYC, they dropped points. They had 3 in the bag. They lost 2 of them very, very late. So anything can happen in the table, and if Atlanta can go on the road and win this, which I think they're absolutely capable of, then we're talking about a different conversation with maybe second, but most likely third in play. So that's 3:30, 3:50 kickoff. Shiva says, I see a Marcelino and Luis double magic in this match. I would like to see that. Might have to come up with some like duo names out of the attacking foursome. That could get interesting. All right. Next game on the board, New England hosting Orlando. It's at Gillette Stadium, 7 o'clock broadcast time. Rosendo Mendoza is your referee. Hilario Grajeda is the VAR. To compare, Mendoza, 29 games career in his MLS time, 24.3 fouls per game compared to Sabiga, who's in charge of the Atlanta game. I'll run through those a little bit so you get a sense of it. 3.4 yellows, so the same number of yellows per game, but he calls about 3 more fouls per game. Rosendo Mendoza. Revolution clinched their spot in the playoffs. First team to do so. 3-2 win in Chicago on Wednesday. Carlos Heels getting back into the flow. Came off the bench to start the second half. Had the game-winning goal. 3rd goal of the year. He's got 16 assists, which is absurd. Orlando. They lost in Philadelphia 3-1. They've lost a lot. They've given up a lot of goals. It's not pretty. All-time series, Revs 4 wins, Orlando 2 wins, 5 draws in it. What are the numbers here, John?
Numbers have shifted a little bit since we talked about it last night. Revs are a -204.
Yes.
Your draw is a +357.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando City is a +507 in the composite. Yeah.
Whew. David, I don't know what's going on with the feed on that. It's David was asking about the Spreaker app. The podcast will be posted. I don't know what's going on with the feed. I've shifted to every possible audio input. That's why I was slow in shifting the camera this morning. And nothing wants to feed into it except it's feeding into other programs. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I'm going to update my inputs on the Spreaker app to post everything. So, David, sorry about that. It'll get posted after when I can rip the audio and move it over, but it's going to take a minute. I've tried this morning. I don't know what's causing it. I wish I did. It's kind of hard pushing the thing to multiple places, I am learning, and I don't know why Spreaker's being difficult. Mateo's on a break, DM Tim. I don't even know. It's frustrating. I don't know what's going on with it. I'll see what I can figure out, David, or I might have to get creative with something else. Keep you posted, though. Orlando plus 500 something. That's funny. I'm just going to leave it there. I think the favorite is the favorite for a very big reason. Very, very big reason, and I'm going to leave it there. New York City hosting Red Bulls. We think at Yankee Stadium. That's what it says here on this sheet. It's been known to be wrong before. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Armando Villarreal is the referee. VAR, Carroll and Chenard. 162 games for Armando. 22.6 fouls called per game. Still more than Sabiga. 3.3 yellows per game. Little bit less. All-time series, Red Bulls got 8 wins, NYC's got 6, and there's been 3 draws. Last time they played was a draw, 102nd minute penalty. There was a long VAR sequence in all of it, but still, that's ridiculous. Patrick Klimala got the penalty very, very late. Tati Castellanos put NYC into the lead. Maxi Morales, 9th assist of the season. Klimala scored in 3 consecutive games and has a goal or an assist in each of his last 4 games. Pretty impressive. Finally starting to come good. What is the set of numbers on this match, John?
NYC's a minus 159. Your draw is basically a plus 300, and Red Bulls are a plus 430.
I'm not going to lie. I like that draw number. Maybe it's because they drew last time. I mean, I don't know how much is going to be different outside of the miniature pitch at Yankee Stadium, if that is allegedly where they are playing, because
yes,
I will just wait and see what happens when I tune in. I kind of like the draw there. I'm still not completely convinced by NYC, and I could be in the minority on that. I understand. They're very up and down, and I think they're super reliant on Tati Castellanos. And if he has a bad day, I don't know where the attack comes from with them. That's an issue. Red Bulls are, they're getting something out of their forward now. Finally, they've struggled to do that. I think when they were decent earlier in the season, it was Fabio who was contributing a lot of assists, but he was at least, impactful. For a while there, they just were getting nothing out of the attack. Now with Klimala, getting goals and assists, okay, talking about a little bit different team with the Red Bulls. I'll go draw.
Yeah, I think that I like that draw number, and I think that it's going to end up being one of those hotly contested things. For me, I would probably end up going the over slightly on this, but I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be something 2-2-ish for me.
Okay. DC hosting Cincinnati, 7:30 Eastern time, Audi Field. Chris Penso is the referee. VAR is Soren Stoica. Penso, 182 career games in MLS, 23.7 fouls, 3.7 yellows, a little bit higher than all the others we've talked about. It's Chris Penso, although he is a reformed Chris Penso. He is very low.
Not quite such a quick trigger, Chris Penso.
No, it's actually a very slow trigger right now. This season, very low on the yellow cards per game situation. But career, still pretty high. 23.7 fouls, little bit more than Sabiga, who we will be seeing in Pennsylvania. Dead again, maybe you're correct. I'm going to leave that alone. Head-to-head all-time, DC's got 2 wins. There's been 3 draws. Cincinnati has never beaten DC United. DC had a 3-game unbeaten run before losing to Atlanta on the weekend. Cincinnati unable to make it 2 in a row at home. They lost to NYC. 1 win all-time in this building. Or for Cincinnati, anyway. They're on the road, which they've actually been better on this season, so that might help Cincinnati here. They've been better on the road than at home, which makes no sense, but welcome to Cincinnati. Blame the Skyline Chili, I don't know. What are the numbers here?
DC minus 192. Your draw is a plus 333. Cincinnati is a plus 513.
If DC is going to stay alive in the playoff race, they have to win.
Yep.
There's just no way around it. If they're a playoff team, they got to win this. They're at home against Cincinnati, they got to win it. I think they do. I think they win this. They should. I think the things that Atlanta was able to do to make it difficult for DC to find Ola Kamara and get him going in the match, I don't know if Cincinnati can do that. I think you're going to see Ola Kamara with a couple of goals and probably.
Well, Geico's 85 years isn't just about time, you know. It means experience. I mean, put it this way. If I told you I'd been jarring raspberry preserves for 85 years, what would you think? Well, at first, you'd be like, that has got to be some scrumptious jam. And then you'd think, he looks fantastic. I must know his skincare routine.
Geico, saving people money for 85 years.
Big pardon.
Probably an assist from Gressel and Flores if he plays. I think Edison Flores is the key for them. I really do. I think he needs to play more for DC, and if he does, they're a more challenging opponent to defend because he can be that playmaker outside of Gressel putting in crosses. Because when you look at their numbers for the season, and Flores has been injured a lot, it's Gressel creating chances and really nobody else. So from a wing position, if that's all you have, you can take that away. It's harder to take away somebody centrally. It's much harder to take away two people that are creating chances. That's what you're looking at right now with DC without Flores. He gets going again, they're a different team, and they're a much better team. All right, let's go to Ohio. Columbus hosting Montreal. I think this is the game of the weekend in the Eastern Conference. This is a huge one at Lower.com Field. It's a 7:30 kick. Nima Sagafi is the referee. Jorge Gonzalez is the VAR. Sagafi, 79 games in his MLS career, 26.4 fouls called. That's 5 more fouls per game than Robert Sabiga, who was doing the Atlanta-Philadelphia game. Again, for comparison's sake, but for a career average, that's very high. Yellow cards, 3.8. Maybe it's quick trigger Nima Sagafi. I don't know. Head-to-head all-time, Columbus 10 wins to 8 for Montreal, 4 draws. Columbus back-to-back results, and it's a good result against New England, a 1-1 draw. That's a solid result. Jossie Zardes got his 5th goal of the season. Montreal has won 2 in a row. They've won 3 of their last 4. They beat Chicago. Again, something everybody's doing for the most part, but they're part of that group. Romel Kyoto, 5th goal of the season, 2nd in as many games. He's got 4 goals and 3 assists in his last 6 MLS appearances. They did play earlier this season. It was Montreal's home game, but it was in Fort Lauderdale on May 1st. 0-0 draw. What are the numbers here?
Crew plus 116, your draws a plus 248, and CF Montreal a plus 235.
I really don't know. Should be Columbus if they're resembling full strength. And resembling full strength is not an easy thing for them to be able to say, but they're getting closer. I'm going to go with Columbus here.
Okay.
I think they're the better team. I think they've got enough. And I do kind of want to see how Montreal looks in this kind of a moment because now, I think before they could just play with no pressure. It's free. There were no expectations. Now you're kind of expected to get into the postseason because of where they're sitting. How do they handle that pressure? I just don't have an answer yet. I'm going to go Columbus.
Yeah, I'll go Columbus as well. I mean, considering what happened last time out at home, down, finding a way to come back, getting full points, I think they can get that kind of momentum again with another home game. So I'll go with Crew here for the win.
Jason Nick says, sneaking suspicion Montreal win it. I can see it. I want to see Montreal now that the pressure's ramping up a little bit because I'm not 100% convinced that they can go beat Columbus in Columbus. I need to see it first. I'm going to go Columbus. Let's go out west. Let's go to Minnesota. The Loons are hosting Houston, 7 p.m. Central kickoff time. Alan Chapman is the referee. VAR is Kevin Terry Jr. Alan Chapman, 190 career games, 22.2 fouls called per game. So still more, but on the lower side, Alan Chapman. 3.7 yellows, though, which is kind of interesting. That's a little bit higher on the average than some of the others, even though he calls less fouls. Interesting dynamic. Head-to-head all-time, 4 wins apiece, 4 draws. About as even as it can get. Houston's got 18 goals to Minnesota's 14. Loons beat the Galaxy. I think a statement win, 3-0 in St. Paul last weekend. Reynoso, couple of goals. He's got 4 for the season now. Fragapane, a couple of assists. Houston, undefeated run of 3 games. Whew. 2 wins in the 3. Woo! They beat Dallas 3-2. They got Luchi Gonzalez run out of town. That's something. Fafa Pico scored his 4th goal in the last 3 games. He's got 10 on the season, quietly. Fafa Pico in double digits. Griffin Dorsey added his 2nd goal of the year, added his 1st MLS assist. Third time they're meeting this season. Minnesota's won both of them. This is the 2nd time in St. Paul. Last time he played in St. Paul, Robin Ludd scored early. Brent Coleman scored late. Loons won 2-0. What are the numbers for this one?
For this one, it is Minnesota at a minus 143. Your draws a plus 296. Houston is a plus 376.
Kind of the same thing as DC for me. If Minnesota is a playoff team, they've got to win this game at home. And I think they are, and I think they will. Well, let me rephrase. I think they should be a playoff team, and I think they will win this game. I don't know if they 100% are a playoff team. There's still work for that to be done. They shouldn't be in this position, and they should play their way out of it with a win against Houston, I think. Yeah. Colorado hosting Toronto in a cross-conference matchup at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Commerce City, Colorado. It is an 8 o'clock Eastern kickoff, 6 o'clock local time. That's a kind of odd kickoff time. Michael Radchuk is the referee. Edvin Jurasevich is the VAR. One of the most experienced VARs you will find. I think he might have been the first to specialize in VAR, Edvin Jurasevich. I think he had an injury is why his referee career came short, and he's been VARing from the very beginning. Michael Radchuk, 3rd career MLS game. 27 fouls per game in his 2. It's only 2. 4.5 yellows per game in his 2. Again, it's only 2 games, so that's a very short sample size. He's given a red, 1 red in his 2 games, 1 penalty in his 2 games. You never know. It could be the games. It could have been crazy games. It's hard to say. But Radchuk is a very young referee. We'll see how he handles this game. Toronto's had the better of the all-time series, 9 wins to 7, 2 draws. Colorado, unbeaten in 10. 1-1 draw with Vancouver. Danny Wilson got the goal, his 2nd of the season. This 10-game unbeaten run is the 2nd longest in the club's 26-year history. They went 15 unbeaten in 2016. Toronto had went 9 games without a win. Then they beat Nashville 2-1. It shocked everybody last weekend. Jacob Schaffelberg, who is one of the most underrated players in the league. In Toronto, if you're not going to play him, let him go somewhere else and play. Like if he wants to come to Atlanta and be a backup winger. Hi. I like Schaffelberg. He's got great pace on the left side. He got a goal. Omar Gonzalez got a goal. These teams haven't met since 2019. That was a 3-2 Toronto win in Canada. Jonathan Osorio got the game winner there. What are the numbers here?
Colorado's a minus 185. Your draw's a plus 337. Toronto is a plus 468.
Yeah, it's Rapids. I mean, Toronto pulling off an upset at home. Okay. Going to dodge plague-infested prairie dogs and get a win. That's a big ask. Colorado wins it. And they win it. I don't think it's a draw. I think they win it outright.
Yep. Right there with you, too. Toronto, I think, is only 2-11-1 on the road this year, so I'm going with Colorado.
Oof. San Jose hosting LAFC. PayPal Park in San Jose, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Kick Jair Marufo is the referee. Jose Carlos Rivero is the VAR. We go from Radchuk in his 3rd MLS game to Marufo, 286th MLS career match. And this is an interesting one because Marufo, for me, is somebody who lets a game play out. He doesn't like to blow the whistle a lot. His number of fouls per game in his career, and 285 is a lot of games to work with, 22.8. So again, Sabiga is lower than that in fouls per game. And Marufo is one of the ones to me that blows the whistle the least. So keep an eye on this in Atlanta, Philadelphia. Yellows per game, Marufo is very low, 2.8. And again, it's across 285 games. Only 45 reds in 285 games. That feels on the low side as well. Marufo has, I think, an approach that He's probably the referee that's gotten the most international assignments out of pro. So it's an approach that others worldwide look at and say, yeah, we like that guy. I would like to see more referees be consistent like Marufo, because I know what I'm going to get from a Jair Marufo game.
Yeah.
You might get frustrated because it's physical and he's not calling a lot of fouls, but you know he's not going to call a lot of fouls. You know he's not going to throw needless cards. You know you can talk to him and he's not going to blow up and start,
Yubo. Yubo.
You stupid. No, but that's not
Call you back.
You just want to meet your new niece.
Here she is.
But if slow upload speeds were to freeze your face and you accidentally snub a newborn,
Nothing is ever good enough for you.
just remember, you're not a bad sister.
This is gonna be a problem.
You just need better internet.
AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience with 25 times faster upload speeds than cable. Get AT&T Fiber. Plan starting at $35 a month for a year. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT.
dealing out cards like a blackjack dealer. He's, you know what he is. He's very consistent. So he's got this game, which could be one that gets a little wild with San Jose and LAFC, because San Jose is always wild and LAFC is a little desperate. All-time series, LAFC 5 wins to 3, no draws ever in the series. The Quakes are crazy. Back-to-back 7-goal thrillers in 4 days. What? This time they win a 4-3 at Austin on Saturday night. Chofis with a couple of goals. He's the MLS player of the week. 5 goals in his last 2 games for Chofis. 10 on the season. LAFC had won 3 in a row. They went to Portland and lost 2-1. Cristian Arango with a penalty. 6th goal of the season all over the last 5 games. Second time they've played this year. Quakes won the last time in San Jose, 2-1. Goals from Nathan and Chofis. What are the numbers here?
San Jose is a plus 181. Your draw is a plus 275. LAFC is a plus 131. And I also looked at a couple of numbers for totals. 3.5 is a plus 135. 4 is a plus 247. 4.5 is a plus 301.
I will. What? Okay, wait. What was the highest one you gave?
4.5 at plus 301.
What's 5.5?
Plus 624.
All right. Give me San Jose to win, and it'll be a 6-goal match.
Parlay.
Just under. That's my parlay of the weekend. Do not run to the window with that one at all. That's for the stinky juice boxes in the back of the fridge. No question about it. All right, Saturday night, 10 o'clock Eastern as well. Vancouver hosting Dallas. Kevin Stott is the referee. Jeff Gamble is the VAR. Don't think Gamble's done a ton of VARs. Kevin Stott has done a lot of games in his career, 373 of them in MLS. 24.4 fouls per game, so a little on the higher side. Yellows per game, 3.1. As you flash the Toka sign at us. Good times. Head-to-head, all-time, Dallas, 10 wins to 6 for Vancouver, 7 draws. Vancouver had lost their first in 11, but they bounced back. They got a 1-1 draw with Colorado on Sunday night. Brian White got the goal, his 5th of the season. He's got 4 goals in his last 6 games. Dallas lost at Houston. They lost their manager out of it as well. Hader O'Brien got 2 goals in this. He's got 8 goals in his first MLS season. Another kind of quiet, decent debut year. Back-to-back games with a brace, though. So if you're looking at potential fantasy players, and you could add him because he hasn't played yet this week. O'Brien from Dallas could be one to look at. Second time they've played this season. First time out, Ricardo Pepi scored for Dallas. Cavallini and Andy Rose put Vancouver in the lead. Own goal and stoppage time, 2-2 draw on July 4th in Frisco. What are the numbers here?
Vancouver's a plus 124. Your draw is a plus 249. FC Dallas is a plus 214.
You know, this is a really tough one to call because I don't know what the emotional response of Dallas is to Luchi Gonzalez getting fired, because it's not just your average coach getting fired, assistant coach gets the gig in the short term, new coach bump. A lot of those Dallas guys came up through the academy with Luchi. So I don't know how happy they would be that he's been let go.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they have that, okay, we screwed up, we got to fix this season kind of vibe either. I could see them struggle a little bit, actually. I'm going to go Vancouver to win at home. They're favored. It's not a crazy pick, but you see that new coach bump sometimes. I don't know if you get that out of Dallas. I don't really know where their mindset's going to be.
Yeah, Vancouver at home this year is 6-4-2. Dallas on the road's 2-9-3. I'd lean to Vancouver as well.
Yeah, the Dallas emotional state will be one to watch for sure. I like the first 10, 15 minutes of that game. I want to see how they come out. Are they, running around like maniacs trying to make it right, like feeling like they screwed up and got their coach fired? Or are they sad because their coach got fired? I don't really know where their mindset's going to be. I'm curious to see it. All right, also Saturday night, 10:30 Eastern time. I think I'll actually be home to watch this one. Portland and RSL from Providence Park. Fotis Bazakos is your referee. Yunus Marakchi is the VAR. Fotis in his career, 118 games, 24.8 fouls called per game. A little on the higher side. 3.7 yellows per game. Again, a little on the higher side. Portland, 10 wins. RSL, 8 draws. Very even. Portland, undefeated in 5. 4 wins in that time frame. They beat LAFC on Sunday night. RSL, back-to-back wins. 3 wins in their last 4. They beat Seattle in Utah on Saturday night. Damir Kreilach, 10th goal of the season. Second in his last 3. This, like that Columbus-Montreal game in the East, this might be that game in the West that goes a long way to setting the table up for us. What are the numbers here?
Portland is a plus 108. Your draw is a plus 261, and RSL is a plus 239.
I like RSL right now. I don't know if I like them that much. I'm going to go with the draw.
I'll go with the win here for Portland. RSL 3-7-2 on the road this season.
RSL's another.
Yeah, Portland's recent hot run for me is adding to that idea and going away from the draw and going toward the win for Portland.
RSL's another tough one to try to get a vibe of the reaction because, Freddie Juarez left. He went to go be the assistant in Seattle. He was with Real Monarchs. He got the first team gig. Somebody'd been with a lot of these guys for a long period of time. However, it's a very different situation. He wasn't fired. He walked. Now, I understand why he walked. Long-term career stability here. They don't have an owner. He out of contract at the end of the year. I get it. But I also have heard some of the commentary out of RSL, and people are a little ticked off that he left, the way he left. I think that's galvanized RSL a little bit. So I get the season form for them. I think they're an angry team. I think they can go and get something in Portland. I don't think they can get a win, but I think they can go and get something in Portland. I think Freddie Juarez leaving might have actually given them a rallying cry the rest of the year. And Pablo Mastroeni's good at feeding into that stuff. He's a good coach. I mean, he's not going to have them playing like a wild, 3-4-3 with 7 players in the attack and any of that. He's going to keep it simple. He's going to, I think, keep it defensively stable. they're going to be a tough team to beat, and I think they've got something to play for now to kind of show up their old coach who walked out on them. That's that could be enough for them. It's going to be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago and Nashville, Sunday. It is a noon local time kick, 1 o'clock Eastern at Soldier Field. Ismir Pekmic is the referee. Alan Kelly is the VAR. Alan Kelly has been the head of pro at one point. Referee of the year. He's VAR in this one. And Pekmic, 5th career game in MLS, 29 fouls called per game in his 4. Again, small sample size, but only 2 yellows per game in his 4 with all those fouls. It's an interesting approach. It's 4 games, so are we really getting a sense of him? I don't know. I might have to look in on this one to see the referee and see how he handles the game because I'm intrigued. Chicago has never beaten Nashville. 1 win for Nashville, 1 draw in the series. Chicago lost to New England. They are on a bit of a slide at the moment. Nashville bounced back from their loss in Toronto, which shocked everybody. They also played in midweek. They won 5-1 in Miami. Played in midweek is doing a lot of work in that sentence because they won 5-1 in Miami.
Yes.
And it was, but they were actually on the field, and they actually did have to run around a little bit. Hani Mukhtar with a hat trick. He had 2 goals in that one. Sorry, he's got 12 on the season. He's in a tie for 5th in the Golden Boot table. Last time these 2 teams played, Hani Mukhtar had a hat trick in the first 16 minutes. You might want to have.
Is the new crispy chicken sandwich taco from Taco Bell a taco or a sandwich?
It's the fold that makes the taco.
If you don't have a tortilla, you don't have a taco.
Bit of a bread burn there. Good one.
Ingredients stacked vertically, that's a taco.
It's called sandwich taco, not taco sandwich.
You've heard the arguments from both sides. Now, which side are you on?
The new crispy chicken sandwich taco from Taco Bell.
I just got my cashback match. Is this for real?
Yep. We match all the cash back new card members earn at the end of their first year automatically.
Woo, I got my money.
It's hard to contain yourself, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Well, let it go. Woo.
Get a $1 match at the end of your first year, only from Discover.
Have Hani Mukhtar in your fantasy team this week if you didn't
Guilty
already.
as charged.
Hopefully you did because he's already got goals for you. Maybe he'll get even more against Chicago. What are the numbers here?
Chicago's a plus 183. Your draw's a plus 240. Nashville is a plus 146.
Nashville's a plus?
Yep.
Are you
Take
serious?
it. Yeah, plus 146.
How drunk was the bookmaker when he gave Nashville a plus number against Chicago in this?
I think it's stupid with 2 O's instead of a stupid with a standard U here.
That's a bender right there to put that number up on the board. Yeah, Nashville. Nashville on the road to win this. Yes, absolutely. Chicago's bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sporting Kansas City and Seattle, Sunday, 6 o'clock local time. Referee is Joseph Dickerson. VAR is Daniel Radford. Radford was working as a referee the day before. Interesting. See, that's the little things, and that's why I'm starting to do this, so we kind of pay attention to who's working where, how it's going. So he's a referee on Saturday. He's VAR in Kansas City on Sunday.
So where's he the ref on Saturday?
Now I got to go back and look.
Because I'm trying to think of travel and.
I mean, he'll get there. I don't think there's a concern about him not being able to make it. That would be a problem.
Working a back-to-back and all that.
Yeah, that would be bad. Where is Radford? No, it was Radchuk. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Daniel Radford. You are not working on Saturday. It was Radchuk. My bad. They might have to have stage names going forward. Radford is the VAR for this one. He is not working on Saturday. So 60 games for Joseph Dickerson. 60 games. That's a sizable number. That's generally refs will work about 20 games a year, like on the top end in MLS. 60. So he's been here for a while. 27.3 fouls called per game. It's one of the highest numbers we've seen, and it's definitely the highest with somebody who's worked consistently in the league. 4.1 yellows per game. That's one of the highest numbers we've seen.
Fast draw Joe here.
Yeah. Wow, interesting. 16 penalties in 60 games, 12 reds in 60 games. Joseph Dickerson's busy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sporting had the weekend off. Last time they played, it was a 4-0 thrashing of Minnesota. Shallowy scored. He's got his 13th goal of the season in that one. He's in third in the Golden Boot race. Johnny Russell had a goal and 2 assists. Seattle, they've lost a couple in all competitions. They lost in Utah, 1-0. They lost in the Leagues Cup final. They got to bounce back against Kansas City here. Last time they played in Seattle, Sporting won 3-1. This one's in Kansas City. What are the numbers?
Kansas City, Sporting Kansas City, a -119. Your draw's a +289. Seattle is a +294 on the road.
Those actually feel right because I think this is a really tough one for Seattle. A very well-rested Kansas City against a not rested and struggling a little bit Seattle and no Nico Ladero. Yeah, It's a Kansas City to win, I think.
Yep, right there with you.
I think it's a pretty comfortable pick. Austin and LA Galaxy to close out the weekend at Q2 in Austin, 8:30 local time. Guido Gonzalez Jr. is the referee. Ismail Elfath is the VAR. Can't remember how many times I've seen Ismail as a VAR. 30 games for Gonzalez Jr., 26.3 fouls called per game, high side. 4.4 yellows, very high. 9 reds, 9 penalties. I do remember one game that Gonzalez had that was like bonkers stupid with cards and players acting like idiots. It was in 2018 because the reason I remember it, one, Guido's from Atlanta, so I know him. He used to work with the Silverbacks before he got deep into the refereeing side of things. He's done a lot in the lower divisions. He's done a lot of VAR, which might end up being his pathway to continue to grow in the game. But it was a game in 2018 when he was really getting started, getting center referee gigs in MLS. And we were sitting in the parking lot at Coolray Field about to go in for an Atlanta United 2 game and watching some madness with cards being thrown all over the place, but like a brawl, I think. I mean, it was all kinds of stupid. So those numbers are slightly skewed, but he has done 30 games. So, 26.3 fouls, 4.4 yellows, 9 reds in 30 games, 9 penalties in 30 games. Those are all very, very high. Galaxy have won the only meeting between these two teams ever. Austin lost 4-3 to San Jose. Sebastian Driussi with his 3rd goal of the season, 4th assist in 9 games. Pretty good return so far for Sebastian Driussi. Galaxy had drawn 3 in a row, then they go to Minnesota and get spanked 3-0. Very curious about how this one looks. What are the numbers?
Austin's a +135 at home at Q2. Your draw is a +271. Galaxy are a +177 on the road.
Wow, Austin's favored over the Galaxy, even though they're at home?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like I have to go Galaxy with this. But that Minnesota game did set off some alarm bells.
Yeah, I mean, your range for Austin is as low as a +127 as a favorite, but as high as a 141, and that's where that composite has come from as a favorite. Yeah. Then for the Galaxy, your range is anywhere from +170 to +190.
I'm going to go draw. I'm a little worried about the Galaxy. I'm not high on Austin here, but I'm a little worried about the Galaxy. I'm going to go draw.
Yeah. You're looking at form. Austin at Q2 is 3-7-2. LA on the road's 4-5-3. I guess I have less faith in the Galaxy than more faith in Austin. So I'll go draw here.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the draw on it.
Yeah.
I believe there was a question about who's going to win the Ryder Cup. Do you have numbers in the Ryder Cup, John?
I can probably drag some out here in a
I
second.
actually really, really enjoy the Ryder Cup. I do enjoy the golf, but the Ryder Cup's a pretty unique competition anyway. It's a lot of fun. The time that Rory McIlroy overslept and like had to get a police escort to make his tee time, and it was pretty close. I think he got out of the car, grabbed his driver, walked up and hit on the first tee. Stuff like that happens in this, and you get like some kind of wild crowd reactions. It is in the U.S. this time around, so you have the home course advantage.
Yep. Let's see. Top point scorer, top combined point scorer.
Just who's going to win.
Ross.
We don't need to go into detail. Who's going to win?
Let me see. It's like they've broken this whole thing down completely into each and every. Let's see. Odds for the U.S. to win are a -197.
Ooh.
And everyone is all the predictions are with the U.S. So the U.S. are your favorites at -197 right now.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, we're already underway, so and it's a good start for the U.S.
Yeah.
So.
First alternate ball foursomes in the morning.
Yeah, you get these kind of weird little formats and stuff. So it's a fun one to watch. If you like golf at all, if you've played at all, it's definitely worth peeking in on this weekend. It's something I've always enjoyed, and if the last day is close, it can be a blast as they go from match to match and everything's swinging up and down and crazy. Jason Nix is waiting for the Ryder Cup of putt-putt. Man, I miss the old putt-putt courses.
Yeah.
Like the real putt-putt courses, like the ones that were by like Putt-Putt of America or whatever it was.
Yeah, there was the one over by Peachtree DeKalb Airport. Or DeKalb Peachtree Airport, and it had like 3 separate 18s that you could play.
Yeah.
And you had various angles and levels, and then there was the occasional windmill and things like that you had to go through later on in the 18. Early on, it would be like the easy putts, and the putter was like the hard mallet putter going up against where the ball just rockets off, and you have zero control. Basically, you have to sit there and tap it just a little bit, then it goes all the way to the hole.
Yeah. Jason Nix likes the windmills and jumps and tubes and all that stuff. I don't like that. DM Tim wants to know if there is a good putt-putt around Atlanta. I've not played the one on the top of Ponce. There's a new kind of like swanky putt-putt. I think it's called Putt Shack that I have not been to, but I've seen them on Instagram. Like.
Mysterious things in this world that bear keeping an eye on.
Is anybody else starting to feel a little freaky?
What happened to you morons this time?
Who in the sweet mercy of are you?
Good question. Transform!
It looks like the fancy cocktails and putt-putt kind of deal, which I don't know, could be fun. It's all inside and stuff. It's in a bar. There you go, DM Tim. Sean says it's meh. So I trust Sean when it comes to golf stuff. So all right, I'm gonna leave that one out. I'll do the I think it's fouling or foaling. It's bowling with an F because you throw a football at the pins instead. I'll do that for some weird, silly game then. I'll go try that one. I'll have to try that. I'm curious about the Putt Shack. Domer wants a Twitch Pitch Drunk Putt-Putt Championship. All proceeds to soccer in the streets, of course.
Of course.
Man, I do, and we will, and I was hoping we'd get a little bit further away from, pandemic stuff. We will have a soccer down here foot golf tournament. It will happen. There is no question about that. It will happen. It's probably going to have to happen next year. It might be like a season kickoff because that's actually not too bad to do when it's a little chilly, but not like cold. We will do a soccer down here, foot golf for sure. And Sean, we might have a soccer down here golf outing at some point, regular golf.
Yes, regular golf.
But foot golf, I mean, and I know I've seen like some of the comments on Discord of people who, some people want to get a game together, like a pickup game. Like I can't play, and I hate it. I hate that I had to stop playing because of a concussion. I don't want to test it. Foot golf, you can do, and it's fun, and it's challenging. It's a good time. So we will definitely do that. We could possibly do a Top Golf thing too. DM Tim, I like that too. I'm a Top Golf fan. I haven't been in a long time. Alex Basine shows up. It's funny. We didn't mention Newcastle all show, and Alex was very quiet. He says, whenever that happens, I'm planning to be injured to save face. Which one? The drunken putt, or the foot golf, or the regular golf, Alex? Or all of the above?
Dead again. An article by Best Things Georgia has 4, and they're calling it mini golf courses.
Yes,
now.
it's fancy.
4 here in the Atlanta area, and then there are others that are throughout the state, and they're top 10.
Right. It's fancy now. It's mini golf. It's not putt-putt. I think putt-putt was like Kleenex, where it was a brand.
Yes.
Because they had the actual like putt-putt places. I remember the logo, and it was all the like carpet with the orange borders of the hole and all that.
Do you remember when they actually had putt-putt tournaments on television?
Oh, yeah.
Billy Packer was the play-by-play guy.
I don't remember detail, but yeah, I remember it because they had qualifiers. The one I was on the south side, so Forest Park had one off of Forest Parkway, and I played that all the time as a little kid. All the time. Alex Basine, we didn't know you were here, sir. He said he'd been here since the base dropped. Allegedly, anyway. Allegedly. Been very quiet.
And apparently putt-putt, as we know it as a brand, is still available in a dozen states in and around the country.
Hanging on. I got to compete with the Swanky Putt Shack.
True.
I might have to try the Swanky Putt Shack, though. That could be fun.
And the one putt-putt by brand here in the state of Georgia is out in Martinez, out by Augusta.
Oh, that's out in Dead Again's country. Okay. Interesting. I missed it. Alex said hello. I'm sorry, Alex.
Hello, Alex.
I was taking shots at you, and that was unfair. I apologize. He said hello a long time ago. John, thank you.
Hello back.
Thanks for keeping up. All right. Couple of other things. First, Dead Again said he's never played foot golf, but he's willing to embarrass himself. You haven't seen Jarrett. You haven't seen Jarrett play foot golf. It's an experience. That's all I got. I haven't seen John play foot golf, which I think could be more of an experience. But Jarrett playing foot golf, I mean, you're kicking a ball at a hole. Like it's not like it's how does that happen? Somehow Jarrett makes it. How did that happen? Like it's an experience. It's very strange. Oh, okay. So Ricky votes for the Putt Shack. So yeah, I'll give Putt Shack a try. Other things on the news board. Again, we're about to cut the show short because I got to get Countdown to Kickoff in the can recorded, and then I got to get my stuff together, and I got to get on the road because I'm flying to Philly this afternoon a little earlier than we have been lately. So it's a little bit of a compressed day. All right. Arsene Wenger talking about his 2 World Cup setup in 4-year cycles. He's ready to take that gamble on proposals to overhaul the football match calendar, quote, to make the game better. He says, the risk is to make football better, and I'm ready to take that gamble. He said the current schedule, the 4-year cycle with the way the windows are, he said no clarity, no simplicity, no modern way to organize the season. He wants to tackle the chaos and congestion in the game. He says what's absolutely detrimental to the players is repeated traveling and jet lag. With reducing the qualifying period, I believe that clubs will benefit. The players would benefit. Now, that's one element that do you have to go to a 2-year cycle to do that? I don't think you do, but that's the element of all of this that I do really like is not having what we're doing with right now, where it is international window, 3 weeks of league, international window, 3 weeks of league, international window, then more of the league. Then you've got an international window in January that you used to not have, but you had AFCON in that window. that players would have to negotiate getting cleared to leave, and some wouldn't, and some would. You had the U.S. with their January games. Now there's an official window to make up games. Then you have the March window. Like, it's all over the map. They do need to compress that. They do need to figure that out. I like the longer international segments to have qualifiers. I don't think you have to have 2-year World Cup cycles to get there, but that's what Wenger's saying. And, I mean, Wenger's believing in this. Like, he's out lobbying. He's out trying to convince people. He's talking it up. Like, I don't think he's doing it because somebody's just paying him to do it. He doesn't seem like that kind of a guy. He believes in it. The times that I'm seeing him talk about it, I think he's sincere. I don't know if I completely agree with him yet, but I don't think he is cynical about it. I think he's trying to do something that he thinks is good. Of course, yeah, there is the money component that I think everybody thinks it would bring in more revenue, and I think that's the selling point for a lot of the small countries, and I don't know. FIFA did a survey. They commissioned it. They say a majority of fans favored holding it more frequently than every 4 years. I don't know if they said 2 years or maybe if they said 3, which I wonder why you couldn't do 3. If you don't want to do 4, but 2 feels like it's too much, why don't you do 3? Like, if we're going to change it up, why don't we change it up? I don't know. I don't know how it goes. He says about the question about devaluing the tournament, and I know this has been a talking point for a lot of people. He says, the World Cup is such a huge event that I don't think it will diminish the prestige. You want to be the best in the world, and you want to be the best in the world every year. Yeah, but if you're doing it more frequently, is it as important? It's a question that I don't think we're going to have an answer until it happens. Because I don't know. I understand the feeling that it would change. I understand the feeling that it wouldn't because it's such a big deal. I don't know what it does. I really don't. Just have to wait and see on that if it happens. They did a feasibility study earlier this year, or they voted to approve a feasibility study. Wenger was tasked by FIFA President Gianni Infantino to go down this road on it. And we know where it all stands right now. One other element that hasn't gotten talked about a lot, after tournaments, and this would be Continental Championships and World Cups, there would be a 25-day rest period at the end of the tournament with no soccer, no club soccer, no nothing. That's another element that I think does play into it where it's been, okay, they're not going to ever get a break. That is part of the deal. So that's another important element. I don't know. Like, I truly don't know. He talked about how, and other people have talked about how the initial reaction from people is, ooh, 2 years, that's not what I'm used to. And I get that, and that's my reaction. I'm not, like, close-minded to it, but I'm not sold on it either. I am sold on reorganizing the qualification processes. I'm sold on less frequent but longer international breaks. I think it'll help the international game. I think it's better for the players. Instead of coming back and forth and then traveling within your continent, come over for a longer period of time, do more games in a longer period of time. Yeah, you might have some travel, but you're not going back and forth across the Atlantic. That's a very CONCACAF-centric view. It's I think CONMEBOL as well. But I think that part's better for the game. The 2-year World Cup cycle, I'm not convinced it's better or worse yet. I don't know. But they do need to do something.
Courage starts with a risk. Defy boundaries and anything in your way. Dare to defy. Calvin Klein Defy, the new men's fragrance.
Yubo! Yubo!
get better.
American Family Insurance understands the value of knowing how well you're doing. It's why our Know Your Drive app rewards your safe driving with benefits and discounts up to 20%. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
And I hope that it's not this or nothing. I hope that everybody is talking and looking and exploring, because if you're going to make changes, now's the time. Everything's disrupted anyway because of COVID and because of, accepting bribes, allegedly, possibly, maybe somewhat proven, to have a World Cup in Qatar and then have to move it into the winter anyway. So if you're going to make changes, now is the time to do it after 2024 when the international calendar changes. We will see. A couple of rumors out there. Federico Chiesa is desired by Borussia Dortmund if they lose Erling Haaland. It's not bad. It's not a bad replacement. Paulo Fonseca talking about not taking the job at Spurs, not talking about not taking the job in Atlanta. He says that he did not take the move to Tottenham because sporting director Fabio Paratici wanted Spurs to play defensive football. That's from an interview in The Telegraph. They hired Nuno. That would check that box a little bit. Interesting, but that's from Paulo Fonseca that he didn't really want to go work for Paratici at that point. GH says Fonseca to Barcelona. Hey, that's actually not a bad idea. It's better than some of these other options. We'll get to Barca in a second. Paulo Dybala, Juventus are close to getting a new deal for him. His contract runs out in June, and they are close to a contract extension for the 27-year-old Argentine forward. All right, we're going to finish with Barcelona because
we should.
They drew at Cadiz. Ronald Koeman was sent off. Frankie de Jong was sent off. Koeman was sent off at the very end. Frankie de Jong was sent off in the 65th minute. Barcelona, 2 wins in 5. 4-card. If you're here with us, I apologize. Memphis Depay had chances. Ter Stegen had to come up with some saves late. Koeman was mad because of the 2 yellow cards to de Jong. He was mad about another yellow card to Busquets. He said, one of the problems is in Spain, they send you off for nothing. Mm-hmm. They don't say why. They just say attitude. Everyone saw the moment. There was a second ball on the pitch. Everyone has to see that. I am strong, of course. I can't win the battle with the press. This is Ronald Koeman. I will put my energy into the team and with the players. I still see a fantastic attitude of the players, and for me, that is most important. I can't stop what the press are writing. We have to continue. That is my job. Players afterwards, remember his statement the other day where he said, look, Barcelona's got to finish in the top 4. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to finish in the top 4. Sergio Roberto and Gerard Piqué are like, we didn't come here to be in the top 4. We came here to win La Liga. What are you talking about? They didn't say, what are you talking about? But that's basically what they said by saying, we're here to win.
Yep.
We can win the league. We're here to win the league. Now, they might be delusional because I don't think they're going to win the league. But they did kick a lot of dirt in Ronald Koeman's direction after his statement of, it's just we got to finish top 4. Erik ten Hag has been talked about with Barcelona. He said, asked for comment by ESPN. This is Erik ten Hag's comment, the manager of Ajax. What has that got to do with me? I'm focused on Ajax. These rumors are entertaining for you, but not for me. I don't think he's interested, John.
Yeah, I think that's a no.
I don't think he's interested.
No.
Xavi has been talked about a lot. We've went through it. Laporta doesn't think Xavi's ready. A lot of the board want Xavi. Thierry Henry's name has come up because he's the assistant to Roberto Martinez, and he played at Barcelona, of course. But they're like, well, if we can't get Roberto Martinez, why don't we just go get Thierry Henry? Okay. I don't think that's a good idea, but okay. Tony Juan Martí of Sport in Barcelona tweeted earlier today, said, more than ever, as of today's situation, the decision on who should be the next coach seems to have been reduced down to just realistically 2 names, Xavi or Roberto Martinez. That's what it comes down to. It should be Xavi. It should be. I don't think they're going to do it, but it should be Xavi, in my opinion. It should be, and I think if they don't they're going to be kicking themselves, or somebody will be kicking themselves later. I don't know if it'll be Laporta, because if Laporta keeps up, he might get the vote of no confidence dropped on him like they did on Bartomeu, and then we might have another political set of nonsense. And then, oh yeah, by the way, they're broke. Could be a lot of fun in Barcelona going forward. Messi's out this weekend for PSG, still with the knee issue. There are big concerns he won't be able to play against Manchester City in Champions League in the midweek. He is running. He will be re-examined on Sunday, so it's not that he's out for Manchester City. He's out for the league match this weekend, but it's not looking great for playing against Manchester City in Champions League. All right, that'll do it for us. I got to get some other things done before I get my bag finished packing and get out of here. So it's a short show. Sorry about that. We'll be back on Monday with a normal Overreaction Monday. And go ahead and put down, let me make sure I got the right date because I was mixing up the two numbers recently. Our next live show in October on the 7th. There we go with the right day. On the 7th, we are going to be at Reformation Brewery in Canton. We are going to be talking about soccer for social change, soccer for good. We're going to have Greg Garza back, and he's going to talk about the Beyond Goals initiative that he has started with Michael Parkhurst, and we're hoping to have Parky via Zoom on the show. We're going to have Mark Bloom and Adam from Georgia Alliance to talk about a nonprofit that they are starting to benefit kids and families. We're going to talk about soccer in the streets, obviously, but we're going to be raising money for Cherokee Impact as well, Cherokee Soccer, who do great work, and their foundation, which does amazing work. We're also going to be raising money for Beyond Goals. There's going to be a lot of different things going on. Oh, yeah, by the way, the U.S. plays Jamaica at 7:30 that night, too. So we're going to be very busy. It's going to be a fun evening. Reformation Brewery in Canton, October 7th. It is a trip, I know, for a lot of people, but it'll be a fun one, and it'll be worth it, and we will be watching the U.S.-Jamaica game as well. That's all coming up down the road, but first it is Atlanta and Philadelphia tomorrow. 3 o'clock pregame coverage starts on 92.9 FM, 92.9 The Game, Odyssey app, Atlanta United app, and on Sirius XM FC. TV broadcast starts at 3:30. It is Univision. It is 2-day NA. Kickoff will be 3:50. We'll have a shorter full-time report because I got to get back on a plane so we can get back to Atlanta. So I can watch the Portland game probably from the comfort of my own home. It's going to be a long 34 hours or so with a game and a couple flights and all that. But welcome to traveling again. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Should be a fun game. I'm really looking forward to it. Keep that in mind about the referee. You're talking about somebody who calls the least fouls of any referee working this weekend. Least fouls in his career. Should be very, very intriguing. We appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. If you have any questions of stuff we didn't get to in our short show today, throw them on the Discord. Tweet them at us. Tweet them at me specifically at Longshoe. Check out the new shirts on the Teespring store. All the things. It's a very busy time, and thanks for being a part of it. We appreciate it. Mucho platio.
Mucho platio.